You might think you know what happens after we die, or what our loved ones, even our pets, mean to us once they're gone. But the story I'm about to share from a man named Jack might change how you see it all. His journey is powerful, filled with love, loss, and an encounter that goes beyond life as we know it. Let's begin his story. It's strange how life can feel like it's just going through the motions. Then, in a single instant, it flips everything upside down. My name is Jack. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, a city that shaped me, heart and soul. Portland is more than just home. It's where I discovered my passions, both for nature and my career. The city's rhythm, the mountain in the distance, the cool, foggy mornings, and the coast nearby, has always felt like the drumbeat of my life. As a civil engineer, I've spent years dedicated to building this place up, making it safer and knowing every corner of it, from the towering skyscrapers to the hidden paths winding through the forests. But if there's one thing Portland will always remind me of, it's Max. Max was my golden retriever, my best friend, and my truest companion for years. He was more than just a pet. He was family, a presence so steady I thought he'd be there forever. With Max, every walk in the park, every hike through those dense Oregon woods felt more meaningful. When he passed, a part of me felt hollow, like I'd lost something I could never really replace. But life doesn't stop. You have to keep moving forward, even if part of you feels frozen in time. That's exactly what I was thinking about on this one late autumn night. The sky was thick with clouds, gray and heavy, promising rain that would turn the streets slick. I'd had a grueling day at the office, buried in blueprints, calculations, and meetings that seemed to drag on endlessly. Exhausted, I finally closed my laptop, headed to my car, and started the familiar drive home along the Pacific Highway. The road was eerily empty, and the streetlights cast an otherworldly glow over the pavement. The hum of the engine, the dim lights stretching into the distance, it all felt dreamlike. Max's memory kept drifting into my mind, along with thoughts of the day's workload and the exhaustion that weighed down my bones. Then, suddenly, so suddenly I couldn't even react in time, a truck loomed into my vision. Massive, uncontrollable, barreling towards me like something out of a nightmare. In that split second, everything slowed down. I remember the sound of screeching brakes, the sensation of helplessly gripping the wheel, trying desperately to avoid impact. But there was no stopping it. The crash came like an avalanche of noise and pain, and then, nothing. It was as if the world itself just stopped. There was no pain anymore, no noise, just silence. I became aware of a lightness, an odd feeling, as if my body were no longer mine, more like an empty shell. I opened my eyes, expecting the chaos of a crash site, but instead I found myself standing in a vast field, rolling green under a golden light that seemed to shine from everywhere and nowhere. The air was pure and fresh, with a serenity so deep it felt like it was reaching right into my soul. I turned around, bewildered, trying to make sense of where I was. And then I saw him, my Max, standing just a few steps away, his fur glowing like gold in the soft light, his eyes alive with the same warmth and wisdom I'd always known. My heart twisted with disbelief and joy all at once. I knelt down, and he ran to me, tail wagging, eyes shining, as if we'd only been apart a few hours instead of a lifetime. I hugged him, and it felt so real, like he was alive again, and all the pain of losing him melted away. "Max, is it really you?" I managed to choke out, my voice trembling with the weight of everything I felt. And then something happened that left me speechless. Max didn't speak, not exactly, but his thoughts, his feelings, his voice somehow filled my mind, as if he were talking directly to me. "Yes, Jack, it's me. I've always been with you. I'm here to guide you." I didn't know what to think, what to believe. Max, my old friend, my silent companion, was now somehow guiding me. Here in this impossible, beautiful place, he explained, not in words, but in a way that filled me with understanding, that I was in a place between life and what comes after, and he was here to help me make sense of it. Come with me, he thought, leading me forward, his gaze drawing me towards a light on the horizon, brighter and more intense than anything I'd ever seen. I felt a sense of calm I'd never known, an acceptance of things I hadn't thought I could accept. With Max beside me, I felt like I could face anything, even this. As we walked closer, a radiant figure appeared in the light, a presence so powerful and yet so gentle that I knew without a doubt it was Jesus. My steps faltered, overwhelmed by the reality, the profound peace of being in his presence. He looked at me, and when he spoke, it was with a kindness that touched the deepest parts of me. "Jack," he said, "welcome. There is much I want to show you." In that moment, with Max beside me and Jesus before me, I felt an unexplainable calm. Like everything that had ever happened in my life, all the joy, the pain, the confusion, was part of something much bigger, something I could only begin to understand now. Jesus led Max and me through a landscape that seemed to shift and transform with every step. The fields became forests. The forests turned to gardens filled with colors so vibrant it was like seeing them for the first time. Animals moved around us freely, wild and joyful, as if they, too, belonged here in this realm beyond pain and fear. Eventually, we came to a crystal-clear stream. Jesus stopped, sitting down on a smooth stone beside it, and gestured for me to join him. Max lay at my feet, his presence grounding me as I tried to absorb everything around me. "Jack," Jesus said, "this is where all creatures find peace. Every animal, every life has meaning and purpose, just like you. Max wasn't only your dog, he was your guide, your protector." I looked down at Max, who gazed back with eyes full of love and understanding. In that moment, I realized just how deeply he had impacted my life. The bond we shared wasn't just random, it was intentional, part of something greater. Max's love and loyalty were all part of a bigger plan, Jesus continued. He was with you on earth to bring you joy and companionship, and he's here now to help you understand. Tears came to my eyes, not of sadness, but of pure gratitude. I looked around at the paradise surrounding us, and it finally made sense. Max had been more than a pet, more than a friend. He'd been a guiding force, one that stayed by my side even now. We walked deeper into the fields of light, coming to a majestic oak tree in a wide clearing. Animals of all kinds had gathered around it, serene and free, their spirits seeming to hum with wisdom and peace. Jesus invited me to sit, and as I did, a small rabbit hopped over, looking at me with eyes that held an age-old understanding. A thought entered my mind, clear and simple. "Every soul has a journey, Jack," the rabbit seemed to say. "Death is only a door, not an end. With each moment here, the meaning of life and death, of love and loss, unfolded before me, like puzzle pieces coming together. This place, this paradise, was where all beings who had touched my life could live on, free from pain and suffering. Here they could continue, and yet they would always be a part of me." Jesus placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. "You are seeing through new eyes, Jack. When you return, carry this understanding with you. Life is precious, every bond is meaningful, and nothing is ever truly lost." The word return struck me. Images flashed before me. Waking up in a hospital, my family gathered around me, relieved and tearful, waiting for me to open my eyes. I saw myself getting back to work, but with a new sense of purpose, a deeper understanding of love, patience, and gratitude. Max was there too, not in flesh, but as an invisible presence, a guiding spirit who'd never truly left my side. I turned to Max, knowing what was coming. Kneeling down, I hugged him tightly. my heart full of emotions I couldn't even begin to name. "Thank you, Max," I whispered, "for everything." Max looked at me with his deep, wise eyes. His voice filled my mind one last time. "I'll always be with you, Jack. Always." Then, with a final wag of his tail, he turned and walked back into the field of light. I watched until he was gone, feeling his love still with me, as strong as ever. Jesus turned to me, his expression filled with infinite kindness. "Are you ready, Jack?" With a deep breath, I nodded. "Yes, I'm ready." Everything grew bright, like I was wrapped in pure light, and then, slowly, I opened my eyes in a hospital bed. My family surrounded me, their worried faces lighting up with relief. I'd returned to life, but with a heart forever changed. Max was gone, yet not gone. I could feel him watching over me, his presence lingering, guiding me forward. And every time I walk in nature, every time I see the stars or hear the breeze in the trees, I feel him with me. Life, I've learned, is a journey of love and connection, and every bond we form lasts forever. Max taught me that, and it's a truth I'll carry with me always.